one, fight!
What's up YouTube, Dow here from Zephyr War Games, bringing you, as promised, a duel from our previous locals. So you've got myself on the left playing UAs, and you've got Charlie on the right playing Fur Hire Brigade. So Charlie decides to go first. He opens up the beat, so normal summons the beat, uses beat's effect to special summon down Seal. Beat's effect will then allow him to add Rafale. He's then going to activate Seal's effect, and Seal's effect is going to allow him to bring back Domper. Domper is then going to allow him to bring back Rafale. Rafale is going to activate the top 3 and add a Tenki. Like, it just doesn't stop. So, like, straight away, now the fact that he's now got the Tenki, he now has the ability to, if he wants to, make an Appaloosa. He's going to make Furlough, but he could make the Appaloosa. Appaloosa could then protect from the entire Fur Hire combo. Not Fire Hire, sorry, the Tri-Brigade combo. Anyway, so he uses the effect of Furlough to bring out Philo. The one that lets you special summon from hand, or special summon from grave, sorry. So then he brings back Rafale, and it's just never ended. It doesn't stop. And he's still got the Tri-Brigade combo. So basically, if he wants to protect from Nibiru, he can do. Otherwise, he just goes Tenki. Tenki gets in the Tri-Brigade combo, and he does the full Tri-Brigade combo, which is ultimately going to give him Samorg Bird of Sovereignties, which is then on top of that going to give him a barrier statue lock. So it's just like, bro, what do you want me to do with this? So he decides to make Ferrigit. Ferrigit is going to special summon down a second copy of Fractal. Fractal can then use his effect to banish 3 Wing Beasts to make the Samorg Bird of Sovereignty, and then he's going to link the Ferrigit and the Fractal and go into the link free for Tri-Brigade, which basically allows him to bring back a Wing Beast, or Beast Warrior during his opponent's turn. So it's just like, cool. So he's unlocked a space for the barrier statue. So now I'm facing down barrier statue, Samorg, Raviel, and Folgo. So I activate Extravagance. I am playing UAs, which I'm not, like, I've got to get rid of the barrier statue. So as long as I've got a normal summon in my hand, I can get past that barrier statue. Now, keep in mind, this was when I thought UAs were more broken than they usually were. So I activate the Hyper Stadium. Hyper Stadium then allows me to add the normal stadium. And then what that's going to allow me to do is, again, I was under the assumption that it didn't need to stay, which is a shame. But so I would activate to get an additional normal summon, which at this point, technically, I don't even need to do. So now I'd normal summon midfielder just to trigger the field spell. Now, obviously, under the new understanding of the field spell, then I would actually, rather than not going for another normal summon here of so I lose a search. So I'd still normal summon midfielder. I'd still normal summon Liberu Spiker as my additional normal, or vice versa. So I've got 2 monsters on the board. All it would mean is I'd be 1 search less. Now, I would have gone for the player manager or Perfect Ace. So I get rid of the statue, and then I've only got the ability to attack once more. But the idea was to unlock my hand so that I could start special summoning out my UA monsters, because of course they're all Earths. So now my hand is Gozen, Penalty Box, and 3 UA monsters. So ultimately it would just mean that I'd have a different UA monster. So he's using one of the effect to pop my Liberu Spiker, which is a shame. But main phase 2, I can still bounce out, go into Perfect Ace, and then because I've special summoned, I then special summon down the Liberu Spiker. Not the Liberu Spiker, sorry, Player Manager. Player Manager is then going to pop the Rafale, because obviously the Rafale is a monster negate. Now, obviously, he's got the Bird of Sovereignty in the end phase as well, which can allow him to special summon a Winged Beast Winged Beast monster, which can be Nerval. Again, I do apologise on the glare. I didn't have a lot of control over the lights at this location. So I've got a monster negate, or I've got an Omni negate with Perfect Ace, and then that's it. I've got a player manager, which is just a defensive kind of option. So he now decides to make the Link 4. The Link 4 is a non-target banished. The chances are he's probably going to try and banish my Perfect Ace. So at this point, it's like, do I want my hand advantage, or do I just let him pop it? And I decide to just let him pop it ultimately, because there's not really a lot I can do here. Like I can discard to negate, but all I'm going to negate is Chainlink 3. So He's now just reading manager and as whether or not he needs to get rid of manager. Ultimately, he doesn't. The biggest threat on that board is perfect ace, which is the one that he takes, rightfully so. Non-target banish is kind of like so yeah, this board state would still be the same. I'll just be one search less. So it probably wouldn't be perfect ace. It'd probably be another monster, another UA monster in defense mode. It's basically what it would be. Now I'm sitting on penalty box and I'm sitting on Gozen, so I'm waiting for him to kind of get into the battle phase. And if at any point I feel like he's about to put an Omni Negate on board, that's when I'll flip the Gozen. But at this point, I kind of take it because I'm kind of like, right, I want you to kind of burn through as many of your resources as possible, because I know that's one thing that fur hires can struggle with is resource management. I might have been smarter to leave player manager on the board, but I mean, I suppose it also hurts with the full go as well, because the fact he's allowed to draw 3. So then when he attacks with the full go, I flip the Gozen. Now he's currently got, I think, wind, light and earth or something on the board. Wind and earth, I think, or wind and dark, sorry. So he decides to keep 2 of his link 2s. Now keep in mind, Folgo, the attack still goes through, which is fine. I should have used penalty box. Like, I don't even know why I was holding off this long. Like, it just makes no sense to me. Maybe it's just a bit of a brain fart kind of moment. Because then what I could have done is like, no, because didn't he? I think that the reason I didn't activate penalty box was purely because I was waiting for Gozen to do maximum damage. Anyway, so I've got the Liberia Spiker. I normally summon Liberia Spiker. That's then going to get me another search, which searches me out player manager. Because what I'm going to be able to do here with penalty box is I'm going to be able to get rid of both his monsters. Because what I can do is when I bounce back Liberia Spiker for any of my FAs, which is Rebounder, which I don't really like, to be honest. It's only good if you drop it with Liberia Spiker during your opponent's turn. And then that's going to let me special summon down my player manager. Player manager's effect can then pop a card, and so I'm going to pop the I attack over the Folgo, and then player manager's going to attack, and then I use the effect of penalty box to banish it, because I think it has a floating effect, and I was like, I can't really afford for you to float right now. So yeah, and hence I had to go with that kind of play. Again, I'm really confused. Why didn't I just pop something with player manager? I can't remember. I think I asked what effects it had or what effects there were, and I turned them all off for some unknown reason. But yeah, Gozen is certainly putting in a lot of work against fur hires. There's very little that they can actually do, because obviously they play with so many different attributes from their extra deck and so many different attributes from their main deck. So he's just asking the general question is if he can play that card, which is the brand new fur hire card, which allows him to special summon out a fur hire. I said, yeah, you can, but it has to be different from the attribute. It has to be the same as the attribute that you already control. So he goes with beat. He's going to treat. Oh no, sorry, because it tributes as cost. So because it tributes as cost, it's quite like the Cosmos. Like, you have to have a valid target to bring out under Gozen. But because it's no longer, because it tributes as cost, you can pretty much bring out whatever you want. If it didn't tribute as cost, and it was like special summon and then return or then tribute, then you wouldn't be able to do it. But yeah, I don't think there's Gozen wins me this game. Like, I mean, the UA's put in a hell of a lot of work, but yeah, like, there's not a lot he can do from under Gozen unless he draws into. And the fact is, he's already got a 10 key face up. So even if he was main decking Lightning Storms, he needs to get rid of his 10 keys to be able to activate it and then clear my back row, which would be damaging to me. Because clearing that back row could, you know, that changes the game state. That puts the ball back into his court. Because at the moment, I've got no negates on my board. I've got no protection on my board. All I've got is another set. And if I remember rightly, I think the other set's another Gozen. So, yeah, Lightning Storm suck. So he's going to activate Reasoning. And I hit this one. I was like, call 3 for beat. And hit the beat. So I got quite lucky on that. The other reason I went with 3 as well is because I think one of the Brigades are 3 that he plays. I could be wrong. But I was like, I don't really want beat on board. You can have anything else, you just can't have beat. So now we're just He's just trying to think of the best ways he can play through Gozen, and he really can't. So he just has to settle. His hand advantage is nuts because he drew 3 off of the full go. I've made the marker that, of course, the Link 4 is going to come back. So I activate Hyper Stadium, which is my top deck. Go for the additional normal. Again, this just means that I would get 1 less search. Like that's my misplay, is that I would get 1 less search. So Liberio Spike will still get me the game winner. I'd still get the additional normal, which I probably would have had to normal prior to this. And I've just gone with the defensive of Perfect Ace, which technically I don't really need. And then at this point, the additional normal of Liberu would get me 1 less search. So I'll just go more aggressive on the previous turn. So rather than searching out Perfect Ace, I would search out Dunker straight away, get the additional normal summon, bounce it back out, and then normal summon, search out Dunker under the new field spell, special summon out Dunker. Dunker attacks, does piercing damage, effect to pop a back row, and then I can attack directly with the remaining 3 cards, which are all boosted. The first 2 are boosted by, I think, 1,000, and the second 2 are boosted by 500. So, kind of cool on that one. So then we move into game 2. He lets me go first on this one. So I was being prepared for like a lot of back row hate. So I activate the old school UA Stadium. Normal summon Liberu Spiker. Liberu Spiker gets me Perfect Ace. Special summon Perfect Ace. That's my like Omni Negate on board. Then I've got Signing Deal. Now with Signing Deal, you always want to go for the level 4 or the level 5s, just so you don't take as much damage. And then what this is going to allow me to do, so I bring out Slugger, and I'm going to bounce back the Slugger using Liberu Spiker's effect, and then that means my Liberu Spiker can spin my Slugger back into the deck during my opponent's turn, which can then bring me out either a player manager, a goalkeeper, block backer, or another Perfect Ace should he get rid of it. So that's kind of cool. And then my other set card, believe it or not, is Gozen. Sorry. I know this. I know Furhighs can run rampant and they can play through a single negate. Like you need to turn off their normal summon. That's when they get in trouble. So he's gone with Domper, I believe. And then he's activating the Furhire quick play, which basically lets him target a wing beast, or beast warrior on the field and swap it for something else. So I hit the Gozen. Now this is a different one because this one doesn't tribute as cost. So he has to special summon out one that is a wind, which is fine because he's got Nerval. But then it's like you still then need to go into a Link 2 wind, which is near impossible for this deck. And it basically just means that he's going to have to start to wall up. I still haven't used my Perfect Ace, and I still haven't used my Liberu Spiker either. So I still have the ability to bounce those out and kind of go from there. So it pretty much Gozen is the MVP over both these matches. But you still need to see the game out, and that's kind of where it comes into it. He uses the effect of Domper to try and special summon one from the hand, and that's where I have to use Perfect Ace's effect. I suppose he's got another. I'm pretty sure one of the other ones lets them pop a back row. It might have been that one. But either way, I stopped it, discarding penalty box, and obviously penalty box can search me out the jersey next turn or during my opponent's end phase, which can pretty much guarantee game from that point on, basically. Still putting in a heck of a lot of work, but I'm now going to use end of main phase 2 Liberu Spiker to spin back the Slugger, which basically just gives me another monster on board, which because I'm worried about the back row, just in case it's anything special, I can then use player managers to pop it. I'm then going to banish the in the end phase, I'm then going to banish the penalty box, which is going to search me the jersey, and I'm pretty much going from game here. All I need, which I've got because of the Liberu Spiker, is the normal summon of the Liberu Spiker, special summon. UA Hyper Stadium is what I've got because I just searched it. But like the idea is, you just go normal summon Liberu Spiker, search out Dunker, special summon down Dunker for Liberu Spiker, boost everything by 500, give Dunker the jersey. He's going to do piercing over Nerval, which is going to be double piercing, and then he can attack again. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Is I just say, there you go, jersey, attack, done, dusted. But yeah, that's it. Gozen, like I said, puts in a heck of a lot of work in this deck. And obviously I main it if you've seen the profile. I love UAs, even after learning the change in like the play style, the fact that it's not as broken as I would have liked it to be with the field spell and that, it's still insanely good. But regardless, I hope you kind of like this duel. It gives you a bit of a learning lesson as well, is that this is how it doesn't operate, but this is how it can operate. So don't take this as, oh, he's playing it wrong, because yeah, I am playing it wrong, but take it as a, let's learn from the mistakes that I made in this. I've certainly learned. It doesn't take anything away from the deck. It means it's a little bit less consistent, but it means that you have to play in a different kind of manner and a different kind of way, but it still works out just as well. But for now, anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe and happy dueling.